Devin Haney says it pays to be the villain. But is he really a villain in the boxing game? I don't know. A lot going on. A lot's been said. Let your boy Ego breaks it down. They just did the press conference for the triple header. Ryan Garcia versus Rolando Romero. Devin Haney's also on the card versus Jose Ramirez, who is coming off of a loss. Some in the fans' mind believe Devin is coming off a loss, even though it was overturned when Ryan tested positive for Osterine, right? But virtually, if you watch that fight, how it played out, it's almost like two fighters coming off of losses. And then Teofimo to round up the card with Arnold Barbosa. Definitely some bad blood there. They're slapping each other, etc. Now, I'm getting ready to play you a clip. Devin Haney did an interview, and he's basically saying he's the villain of boxing, and he's embracing being the villain. So I'll let you hear it from him, and then I'll give you my thoughts. Roll the clip.
This new mantra that you have, Devin the villain. Can you please talk about that?
Because I always was a villain, but then I was like the good guy, villain. But I always wanted to be the villain anyways, because it's easier being the villain, and it pays being the villain, so I'm okay with being the villain.
I feel like you're embracing this new mantra that you have, Devin the villain. Can you please talk about that?
Because I always was a villain, but then I was like the good guy, villain. But I always wanted to be the villain anyways, because it's easier being the villain, and it pays being the villain, so I'm okay with being the villain.
Wow. So that was Devin Haney. He's fashioning himself as some sort of villain in boxing. And he's like, I'm good with it. I'm okay with being a villain because it pays. I mean, I don't know what movies y'all watch, what comics y'all read, but I don't see anything villainous about anything that Devin Haney has done recently. So I don't know what he's even talking about. Maybe you guys know. Like, Devin didn't pop dirty. Ryan did. So how are you the villain? Like, it don't even make sense. See, the difference between me and them, Brand X, the Haneyacks, the usual suspects, the resistance, they talk, but it don't often make sense. When I talk, it must make sense. So I don't even understand. Like, let's say this was a Batman movie. Bruce Wayne, the good guy, aka Batman, the Dark Knight. The people of Gotham know not everything, right? That's the hero. You have an antagonist and a protagonist. Batman is the hero. The antagonist is the Joker, the Riddler. Like, they're trying to blow up Gotham. They're trying to sabotage Gotham. They're creating chaos and mayhem. So, in the world of boxing, wouldn't Ryan Garcia be more of the Joker than Devin Haney? Like, again, you guys allow people to say things to you. You hear it, but you don't hear Jimmy. Ryan, for the last press conference, and the last time he fought was the Devin Haney fight, he was acting crazy, like the Joker. I literally called him the boxing Joker. I said, oh, you letting the Mexican-American Joker run around all crazy. He was doing weird videos, saying he got locked out from his money. He was saying people are out to get him. The agents or whoever in the Matrix, I don't know, Agent Smith or somebody was looking for him. He was acting very bizarre. So I don't even understand what Devin Haney's talking about. And then he whooped you in the fight, left hook city, and then after popped dirty. That's villain. To me, that ain't that the villain? The guy who before the fight was acting like the Joker, and then after the fight, he's making diss songs. He's smoking stogies and cigars. He's laughing at you. He's posting the clips. He's talking about you and the dad. And then we find out he pops dirty. So, again, I don't know what movies, I don't know what comics that y'all watch and read, but I don't understand how Devin is embracing the villain role. Who said that? If anything, Devin would be the Batman in this tale. Devin is the one snitching and reporting and filing a lawsuit. What villain files a lawsuit? Like, can you picture Bruce Wayne filing a lawsuit or the Joker, who is like most likely to file a lawsuit? So I don't know how Devin is processing this, but this doesn't make sense to me. The Joker would never sue Batman. He would try to retaliate and get back at Batman. Devin Haney opted to initially sue Ryan Garcia, and it wasn't until Turkey, the man with the bread, intervened and said, hey, if y'all both want to fight, y'all got to set aside y'all differences, so to speak. And now Devin is like, after a year straight of saying cheaters in boxing, cheat, 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 vada, 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 24/7, 365, cheaters, PEDs, banned substances, drugs, ha, hoo, ha, ha. You're now fighting on said cheater's undercard. And you're fashioning yourself as a villain of sorts. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I don't see what you're doing that makes you the villain. You know, Devin looks like, in terms of his size, he looks in shape, but he also looks very small, like comparatively speaking. So we're going to see. It's going to be very interesting, but I have my concerns, and so did the DAZN host. He definitely has some concerns about Devin's jaw and all that, and Bill Haney cussed him out afterwards. But this is definitely going to be a fight to watch, because I need to see how Devin internalizes all of this anguish, this drama, because the Ryan Garcia put a fat stain, and we're going to see if he can get the stain out. Because you ever spilt like red wine on a light colored carpet, very hard to get out. Even if you can reduce the stain and the appearance of it, the stain is still there, because you have something like Merlot or whatnot that is spilt on this particular fabric, and it's already, you let it sit too long without remedy, and now it still looks like a discolored spot, even if you get professional cleaners. So that analogy I like in the boxers. When you go through that type of trauma, like getting knocked out, like, bow, and you just knocked out, that is almost sometimes better, because it's clean. It's like once and done. Pacquiao just got knocked out by Marquez. Devin took a sustained beating, although he did pick himself back up and get back up every time, which is commendable from the warrior aspect, but you still went through that car crash, you know, and I always use this analogy. Whether you're at fault or they find the other person liable in an insurance claim, you still went through the car crash. So you might have back problems, you know, your neck is all crinked and, you know, stiff. You have PTSD when you see cars speeding up or, you know, in freeway traffic or whatever. So I'm going to be paying attention, because some of the red flags are there that mentally this is hard for the Haneys to process. I'll make another video to kind of dive into that. But this whole villain talk doesn't make sense. It's like you want to be Floyd Mayweather so bad, and you're like, oh, the villain pays. I was the good guy, and now I'm the villain. Bro, be who you are. You didn't really grow up in Oakland like that. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like your dad had you in a nice homeschooling or private school or whatever. That's cool. That's great. Be that. People will respect it more. But, you know, if you act gangster and this, like you was serving packs on the street and, you know, things like that, it's just not going to come across the same. Now you're saying you're the villain. You're not the villain. People are laughing at you and people are booing you. That's not the villain. Even in a good villain movie or a good hero movie, the villain, you low-key, like, root for the villain. Like, oh, the Joker's kind of funny, blah, blah, blah. I'm not really getting that with Devin Haney. People seem like, A, you sued, I don't respect that. A, you punched a ride carnival operator, I don't really respect that. You guys jumped him. You had more of your entourage attacking this guy that works at a carnival OC County fair, right? You try to sue Ryan Garcia. You acted a certain way. You know, your dad's going off on DAZN commentary like someone forced y'all to be on this card and everybody's out to get you, this whole victimhood kind of mentality. So I don't really see anything villainous at all. So y'all let me know what you think. You know, the Haneyacks are going to be like, you're hating, but they're not going to prove me wrong. Bet that.